the email. It's like,
You should go.
I don't see me leaving the house.
Canada's pretty friendly.
I was offered it a long time ago. The cable station out in New York City wanted me to come out there and do a show on Bible codes, do a whole show on it.
Huh.
And I was just like, yeah, I'm going to get together all these graphics for Bible codes, and, you know, I never did it.
Hundreds and hundreds of graphics.
Yeah, I know. All these, I mean, you'd have to have a producer and help for something like that. I just don't have the help.
Yeah, oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, I don't have a staff, and I don't have an office, and I'm a mom. I work out of my house.
Yeah, I got my half-dying computer and
yeah, you said you have
website, and that's about it.
Yeah, and for us, having a computer working on any given day isn't a given like most people.
I mean, today I had to change the fan on it, and I don't know, it's just getting really old.
Yeah, I've gone through that. I burned through cards because I never shut my computer off. I shut it off probably once every 2 or 3 days.
Oh. But, yeah, I find, again, I think, like, these shows now are really kind of priming us.
So tell us what you've got and what the StarGuides.org's been up to lately. I've seen some of the stuff you've been sending out. It's been pretty funny.
Oh, I've kind of slowed down. Like, I mean, it's just me doing the site. And, oh, gee, I'm telling you, sometimes it's like an 8-hour job, a day job.
You tend to go through and pick out celebrities and stuff. Like I said, you always seem to have the more fun side on who's what. How do you look at a celebrity and tell that's a hybrid?
Well, generally the eyes, and generally a feeling. You know, you look at the person and say, what is that person saying with that? What kind of feeling are they expressing with that? Just the way they're standing around looking, right? Some of them have like these really, like the Bible speaks of, is like this countenance, like just this evil kind of frowning, glaring, you know, and then.
Well, this is besides, is this the soulless dead eyes? Because I always describe the dead eyes.
Yeah, and then the eyes, they don't reflect. I mean, they're flat. They're very basic.
Well, tell us about Lisa Marie Presley, because I know you had her site.
And then, that is also a sign of a psychopathic personality, according to Dr. Hare, who is the world's leading expert on psychopaths. He says that flat eyes is pretty much a dead giveaway. And, well, who's got flat eyes but fallen spirits? I mean, it's a genetic thing, too. I mean, they just don't hop in and out of everybody they want. I mean,
so name some of these people that you've posted that have these eyes that you're talking about.
What's that again? I didn't quite hear you.
Name some of these people that you've posted on your site that have some of these eyes people can look out for.
Oh, there's so many of them I can't keep up with.
I'm putting you in the hot seat tonight.
Lisa Marie Presley. I mean, I've got a thing out there where her eyes, I showed very clearly, do not reflect any light, period. And she's got a friend on either side of her that you can see the light twinkling in their eyes and stuff, but not her. Then I saw an interview with her on TV, and oh man, she's just cold. She's just a very creepy kind of person, you know. Generally, it's the eyes and the general feeling of what you get. You know how you can talk to some people and the evil in the room, you can just cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
Even though they're very charming and, they're outgoing, slap you on the back, But the feeling is you could cut it with a knife. You just feel like you're in the presence of something really bad. But most people just kind of go in denial and they just say, well, oh, that's so-and-so, and they just kind of shrug it off. But I tend not to shrug these things off anymore. Well, I've learned not to shrug them off anymore.
I don't know if you've seen my picture of Bush I had at the file site, and he seems to have, and I've seen this in other politicians' pictures, where they seem to have a dot inside their eyes, beside their pupil. You know what I'm talking about, right? The color part of their eyes?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's supposed to be some kind of, is that a video or a chip or used for mind control? What is that? Because it's right in their eyes.
I'm not sure, but there's a lot of weird people walking around right now.
Have that dot in their eyes, or just weird people in general?
Well, just generally, well, look at Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's not exactly normal.
Okay, let's talk about Schwarzenegger. He's one of these guys that looks like his skin is barely stretching over his alien body.
Well, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's Nephilim. People say, oh, well, he's not a giant, but that's not the meaning of Nephilim in Scripture. It means the fallen ones, earthborn. Doesn't necessarily mean giant, even though some were giants.
Yeah.
Enoch says there's a whole batch of them that came out that were monsters. I mean, they were literally like monsters.
Oh, yeah, he describes one as being 300 ells tall, and I think that's, I don't know how many feet that is.
Yeah. Well,
and they were brothers. There was two of them.
Well, that's it. From what I've gathered, from before the flood, they were extremely like mountaintops, and then after the flood, they seem to have come down to about anywhere from 6 to 10 feet. So if you took a 6-foot Nephilim and put a suit and tie on him, who's going to think twice about it?
Maybe you'd be recruiting him for the NBA.
Yes. and look at Abe Lincoln. I mean, he's from the Merovingian descent, which is of the Nephilim bloodline, the top 13 Illuminati bloodlines, and he's pretty tall.
Yeah, well, all of our presidents, I think except 3, are all related to the Illuminati bloodline families. And I've explained on this show before that these Illuminati bloodline families are hybrid lines.
Oh, yeah, well, since the beginning of time, Satan has preserved his seed line and made sure that, I mean, the general public is like Heinz 38 or 54 or whatever. They're just mongrelized. I mean, they're mixed so much, but the top Illuminati, like the 13 bloodlines, I mean, those are pure descent. There is the Order of the Dragon. You cannot just say to yourself, oh, I'm going to become a dragon member. They want you to take a DNA test.
Oh, so
and then they decide whether, you know, how, depending on that test and how it goes, whether you're going to be in it or not. And same with a lot of witches. I have found that a lot of the low end say, I'm going to be a witch and I'm going to do this and that, but the elite are born into it. They don't join it. They're born into it, but through blood. So it's very important.
Yeah, I'm finding a lot of these people that say that they're born into a father who was a Satanist, or parents who were, say they were in the Illuminati and they got out, or into Satanism and as children, and then they got out. They abandoned what their mother and father believed. And they go around and they preach that they weren't affected by it, that they became saved, they weren't affected. I'm finding most of these children are deceived themselves because most of them carry multiple personality disorder. They were affected by it. They buy the lie that they weren't affected by it. And almost every one of them suffer from multiple personality disorder because when they're small children, they go through so much abuse that causes a splitting of their mind.
Another thing I noticed that a lot of these, like Warnke, that comedian, he was Satanist or whatever. He got out and he found Jesus and all this, and yet his story on his past and stuff doesn't jive. It's full of holes. It does not connect together. Then you have this is the thing people have to understand is that a psychopath, i.e. fallen spirits, do not find Jesus. I mean, there's not one psychopath that does, and if you find them, their story pretty much falls apart. It just does not happen. Like, what's his name? Berkowitz. He's now in prison preaching Jesus to all the masses in there and stuff. But if you're familiar, if you study psychopathy, which I have for many years now, they need that attention, and they'll get it any way they want.